The fastest growing revolution nobody's funding. And I want to talk to you today about a revolution that is happening right now in real time in cities and kitchens and living rooms across this country. A revolution that is being led by the most overlooked, underfunded, and underestimated group of entrepreneurs in America. A revolution that is rewriting the rules of business, resilience, and what it means to build something from nothing. I recently sat down with Ashley Williams, a visionary whose work is not just reshaping entrepreneurship, it is dismantling the very systems that have tried to keep Black women invisible. Ashley is a force, someone who has dedicated their life to amplifying the voices of those who have been told they do not matter, who have been denied access, who have been erased from the narrative of success. Their insights do not just challenge us, they shake us. They force us to see what we have been conditioned to ignore. And what Ashley revealed to me is this: the fastest growing entrepreneurial movement in the United States is being led by Black women. And this movement is not just about business, it is about reclaiming power, it is about building legacy, it is about refusing to accept no as a final answer. It is about the intersection of hustle and healing, survival and softness, and the radical act of choosing yourself in a world that has told you that you do not deserve to be chosen. So let me start with something that might surprise you, something that should stop you in your tracks. Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the United States. Let that land for a moment. The fastest growing, not the most celebrated, not the most funded, not the ones getting the magazine covers or the venture capital deals, but the fastest growing. Black women are launching businesses at rates that outpace every other demographic group in this country. They are building empires in their living rooms. They are creating products in their kitchens. They are solving problems that entire industries have ignored. And they are doing it with less capital, fewer connections, and more obstacles than anyone else in the game. And yet, they face some of the most persistent, most suffocating barriers to success: limited access to capital, wage gaps that refuse to close, professional networks that remain stubbornly, violently exclusive. The entrepreneurial landscape for Black women is not a level playing field, it is a battlefield. It is a system designed to keep them out, to keep them small, to keep them silent, and still they are winning. Ashley Williams helped me understand that this is not just a statistic. This is not just a data point to throw into a presentation. This is a revolution. This is what happens when a group of people who have been told no their entire lives decide that no is not an answer they are willing to accept anymore. This is what happens when survival mode transforms into something sacred, when hustle becomes a form of healing, and when the act of building a business becomes an act of reclaiming your identity, your power, your voice. Let me tell you about Melissa Butler. Melissa is the founder of the Lip Bar, a cosmetics company based in Detroit, Michigan. Melissa started making lipsticks in her kitchen because she was frustrated by the lack of diverse options in mainstream beauty, frustrated by an industry that told her she did not matter, that her skin tone did not matter, that her vision did not matter, frustrated by a market that refused to see her. So she did what so many Black women do when the world refuses to make space for them. She created the space herself. She mixed pigments, tested formulas, and built a brand from scratch. She poured her savings, her time, her heart into this vision. And when she was ready to take her business to the next level, she walked into the Shark Tank. She stood in front of some of the most powerful investors in the country. She pitched her dream with everything she had, and they rejected her. They told her the market was too saturated. They told her she would never succeed. They told her she was wasting her time. They told her no. But Melissa Butler did not accept that no. She did not pack up her lipsticks and go home. She did not shrink. She did not disappear. She went back to her kitchen, back to her community, back to the women who believed in her vision. Right? She leveraged social media, built a loyal following, and focused on the consumers who had been ignored by the beauty industry for far too long. She built relationships. She told her story. She showed up again and again and again, even when the doors were slammed in her face. Today, the lip bar is sold in over 1,000 Target stores nationwide. Melissa Butler turned rejection into a multi-million-dollar brand. And more than that, she inspired an entire generation of Black women entrepreneurs to challenge industry norms, to prioritize representation, and to refuse to be invisible. Ashley Williams shared Melissa's story with me, and I realized something profound. Melissa was not just building a business, she was building a legacy. She was creating space for women who looked like her, who had been told they were too much or not enough, who had been erased from the narrative of beauty and success. Melissa was saying without apology, I belong here. We belong here. And that act of defiance, that refusal to shrink, that is what the soft girl era is all about. It is about being soft enough to honor your own needs, strong enough to set boundaries, and bold enough to build something that reflects your truth. It is about refusing to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders just because the world expects you to. It is about choosing yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of self love. Now, let me tell you about Jewel Burke Solomon. Jewel founded a tech startup called Pick, which developed visual recognition software to streamline the process of finding replacement parts. Jewel was working in her family's parts business when she recognized a problem. Customers were struggling to match the right components, and the process was inefficient, frustrating, and outdated. So, Jewel, a Black woman in an industry dominated by white men, decided to solve it. She built a diverse team. She focused on solving a real world problem. She leveraged accelerator programs to gain visibility. She worked harder than anyone else in the room because she knew she had to. But Jewel faced skepticism at every turn. Investors doubted her. The tech industry questioned her. She was one of the few Black women in the room, and she knew it. She felt it. She carried it. But Jewel did not let that stop her. She did not let their doubt become her reality. She secured over $2 million in venture funding. She built a product that worked. She proved that her vision was not just viable, it was valuable. And eventually, Part Pick was acquired by Amazon. Jewel Burke Solomon became one of the few Black women founders to achieve a successful tech exit. And in doing so, she paved the way for more Black women in tech entrepreneurship. She proved that innovation does not have a single face. She proved that diversity is not just a buzzword, it is a competitive advantage. She proved that when you give Black women access, when you give them resources, when you give them a seat at the table, they do not just succeed, they transform entire industries. Ashley Williams told me that Jewel's journey is a testament to what happens when you refuse to let other people's limitations define your possibilities. Jewel did not wait for permission. She did not wait for the industry to be ready for her. She built something so undeniable that they had no choice but to pay attention. And that is the lesson here. You do not need permission to be great. You do not need validation to be valuable. You need vision, resilience, and the courage to bet on yourself even when no one else will. And then there is Pinky Cole. Pinky is the founder of Slutty Vegan, an Atlanta based vegan fast food chain that has become a cultural phenomenon. Pinky faced skepticism about the viability of a vegan concept targeting Black communities. People told her it would not work. They told her Black folks do not eat vegan. They told her she was wasting her time, her money, her energy. But Pinky Cole understood something that her critics did not. She understood that representation matters. She understood that plant based eating could be accessible, appealing, and culturally relevant. She understood that food is not just fuel, it is identity, it is community, it is love. So Pinky harnessed the power of social media. She built a strong brand identity. She engaged in grassroots marketing to build a loyal customer base. She showed up authentically, unapologetically, boldly. She made vegan food fun. She made it sexy. She made it something that people wanted to be a part of. Today, Slutty Vegan has expanded to multiple locations. It has generated millions in revenue. It has received national media attention. Pinky Cole has normalized plant based eating in communities of color, and she has inspired entrepreneurial activism. She has shown that you can build a business that is profitable and purposeful, that serves your community and honors your values. She has shown that you do not have to choose between making money and making a difference. Ashley Williams helped me see that Pinky's story is about more than vegan food. It is about the power of authenticity. It is about the courage to be yourself in a world that constantly tells you to be someone else. It is about the audacity to build something that reflects your truth, even when the market says it does not make sense. And it is about the radical act of softness, of choosing joy, of prioritizing your health, of saying, I deserve to feel good in my body, and I am going to create a space where other people can feel that too. These three women, Melissa Butler, Jewel Burke Solomon, and Pinky Cole, represent something much bigger than individual success. They represent a movement of Black women who are redefining entrepreneurship, who are building businesses that reflect their values, their communities, and their lived experiences. They represent resilience in the face of systemic barriers. They represent innovation born out of adversity. And they represent the truth that Ashley Williams shared with me, that Black women are not just surviving, they are thriving, they are leading, and they are transforming the world. But here's what we need to understand: this is not just about business, this is about healing. This is about Black women who have spent their entire lives in survival mode, who have been told to be strong, to carry the weight, to never complain, finally saying enough. Enough of the cape, enough of the hustle without rest, enough of the expectation that we will give and give and give until there is nothing left. The soft girl era is about Black women choosing themselves not out of selfishness, but out of self love. It is about recognizing that softness is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is about understanding that rest is not laziness, it is resistance. It is about learning to say no without guilt, to set boundaries without apology, and to protect your peace as a practice. Ashley Williams reminded me that entrepreneurship for Black women is deeply personal. It is not just about making money, it is about creating opportunities for their communities. It is about building legacies for their children. It is about proving to themselves and to the world that they are worthy, that they are capable, that they are enough. And that is why the barriers they face are so devastating. When you deny a Black woman access to capital, you are not just denying her alone, you are denying her the ability to build generational wealth. When you exclude a Black woman from professional networks, you are not just limiting her connections, you are limiting her ability to scale her impact. When you underpay a Black woman, you are not just affecting her paycheck, you are affecting her family, her community, her future. And yet, despite all of this, Black women continue to rise. They continue to innovate. They continue to build. And that is what makes this movement so powerful. It is not happening because the system is fair. It is happening in spite of the system. It is happening because Black women refuse to wait for permission. They refuse to accept no as a final answer. They refuse to let other people's limitations define their possibilities. So here is what I need you to hear. Here is what Ashley Williams needs you to hear. Here is what Melissa and Jewel and Pinky need you to hear. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to wait until you feel ready. You just have to start. You just have to take one step. You just have to believe that your story matters, that your voice matters, that your vision matters. And you have to be willing to be soft, to be vulnerable, to be honest about what you need and what you deserve. You have to be willing to drop the cape, to set the boundary, to say no without explanation. You have to be willing to rest, to heal, to choose yourself, because the world is not going to give you permission. The world is not going to make it easy. The world is going to tell you no. The world is going to doubt you. The world is going to try to keep you small. But you are not small. You are not invisible. You are not less than. You are powerful. You are capable. You are worthy. And your vision, your dream, your business, your voice, it matters. So I am asking you today, what bold step will you take? What cape will you drop? What boundary will you set? What dream will you finally give yourself permission to pursue? Because the world is waiting for you. Your community is waiting for you. And you are ready. Do not wait for the system to change. Be the change. Do not wait for permission. Give it to yourself. Do not wait for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself. And then go build something so undeniable, so powerful, so true that the world has no choice but to pay attention. This is your moment. This is your revolution. This is your soft girl era. Now go claim it.